Neolithic times they tried it. But it all comes back to the truth, which expels all that isn't like itself. And that is that there is just one power in the universe. And that's where we are praying, to let that power know that we accept all that is available to us in the form of prayer. God is everywhere, all the time, knows everything, and there's all the power that we use when we do the creative act of prayer. The unconditional love of God has created each and every one of you and me and everybody else around. This is a personal contract between you and God. You have rights to go on with that. And you are recognizing this relationship as the first item in prayer. One is essential of every whole number. You can't have a 2 without a 1. It's not a 2 then. You can't have a 5 without 1. Make it. It'll be a 4 if it doesn't have the 1. You don't see it, but it's there. You got a million. It's not a million if you don't have a 1 in it, because that'll be 999,999. That's true. And the universe is all one. You see this now. All the galaxies, solar systems, planets, all that, it's all one thing. And the one thing has one creator of it. And that's God. God is not only the creator, it is it. It's all one. So when we create, or when we pray, the first step is to recognize that oneness. It is ours to understand that we are a part of that. We are a part of all it is. How much power is that? How much do you want? We are empowered by unconditional love. And it goes through us as we allow it to happen, as we recognize it, and as we follow the steps that allow that to happen, one by one. These are devised because they work. You can't beat that. If it works, do it. That's what treatment is all about. One. Just one.
As I identify God as being all there is, I understand that since I am that all there is statement, I can clearly understand my unity with God. And that's the importance of our unification statement. And it really is what sets us apart, because we are saying in this treatment that we are united with God. And therefore, our words are extremely important. They're extremely important all the time, but particularly when we're praying, because we want to understand that we really do believe that God is inside of us, directing us, caring for us through divine guidance and all other things. So when we do have our treatments, you'll all hear one of the people doing it say, I speak my word for. And we come from a feeling and knowing that we speak our word for whoever it is that we are praying for, doing our treatment for, is going to have the highest and the best thing happened for them. And we are very clear that always to use this wonderful teaching for the good. Never to hurt anybody, but to love folks and serve folks and do what we can. And of course, when we understand, then we can do it, because after all, we have all the universe and all the power and all the love of God within our heart, expressing to you as our one.
Morning.
Morning. So yes, there's one God, and we are one with that God. We are one with each other. And we move into the third step, which is called realization. And realization is really the application step. The first two steps are getting us into that relationship, and then we apply it. We apply the truth. And Ernest Holmes used three different ways to describe realization. The first one, he said, it's a declaration. We're voicing what we desire. We establish it. We take what we desire and we establish it in the mind of spirit. And then we can allow that creative process to work. Creative process is the law. The universe will support it. The second word he uses is affirmation. And affirmation, we know, we've used them today. We've talked about our affirmations. And why? Because we are affirming the truth. We're affirming that it already exists. It's already in the mind of spirit. And the universe will support it. We claim it with clarity and conviction. And the other part of affirmation is that word firm, which means it is really strong, solid, firm, evident to the physical senses. And the third word he uses for this step is of course realization. And he says in the large textbook, which I reread in preparation, I reread all of his words to get a sense of what it really means. And he says over and over again, we realize that truth of spirit is greater than the conditions we're experiencing. So if we look at the experience of our daily life, the truth is much, much greater than that. And so we can move through this step of realization from a world of physical conditions into this realm of causation. We can activate this creative process which is going on all the time. We're always a part of it, but we can activate it in our lives to create that life which we are here to live. And we can transcend all those limitations, all those things that we see with our physical senses, physical appearance, and we can recreate our lives. And I love this part of it. We can recreate our lives in alignment with spirit. We can recreate our lives in alignment with spirit, with the fullness, with the richness, with the allness, with the abundance, with all that is. The outcomes of our treatment, of our realization step, already exist in the mind of God. They're already there. And it's available to each one of us according to what? Our belief. So belief is the central word in realization, because we can say these words, we can know this truth, and then we believe. We go out and act as if it's already true. It is. It's already true in the mind of God. I do this every day as I'm planning this conference in Europe. I know it's already there. So just taking each step and knowing that that's the thing to do right today. If I look beyond, I have to stay focused on the step of today. John Waterhouse, in his lovely book, 5 Steps to Freedom, points out that there are 4 characteristics in the realization stage to make it most effective. And he uses 4 words, the 4 P's. Personal. has to be personal, specific to our lives. It has to be present. It has to be in the now. Not in the future, not in the past, in the now. Regardless of our ability to see that. It has to be positive. We focus on what we choose to experience, not what we choose not to experience. And precise. We do it, we speak this word precisely in the terms which apply directly to our lives. If we use personal, present, positive, and precise, this treatment will be clear and it will be powerful. Thank you.
Good morning. How many people here who have come on a regular basis feel like their life just flows a little bit better because of being part of the center? Right? Happens all the time. You get into a flow of life. Now, some of you know that I am in ministerial school. What you may not know is I just transitioned to a new job, which has become all-consuming, and I'm a wife and mother, and hence a lot on my plate. All the time, it feels like. And I had class yesterday, and I don't know if you realize when someone gets up here to speak, whether it's 5 minutes, a 20-minute talk like Reverend Peggy does. If I come up here and do a 20-minute talk, there is 2 to 3 weeks of preparation that goes into coming up here and speaking. Even a 5-minute talk, do the math, it takes a while. And so very interestingly, I'm in class, and I had class yesterday, and our class is on the teachings and writings of Ernest Holmes. And one of our assignments was to go through the steps of treatment. How awesome is that, right? And then who was here 2 weeks ago but John Waterhouse, who happened to have written this wonderful book called The 5 Steps of Treatment. Huh. And then I found out that I would be speaking today as one of our practitioners about one of the 5 steps of treatment. So it just all flowed together beautifully. So the step that I'm here to talk about is the gratitude step. And I'll just tell you what I wrote for my paper yesterday. This is a quote that comes from a woman named Melody Beatty. I think that's how you say her name, Melody Beatty. It says, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Isn't that beautiful? We had a little debate in our class yesterday about what's the most important step of treatment. And the official answer is the first 2, where we feel ourselves in that presence. It's those 2 things that are the meditative step where you feel, you know you are one with the Spirit. In my opinion, gratitude, I think, maybe not for treatment, but gratitude as a way of life and a way of being is probably the most important thing you can do. There is someone whose name escapes me at the moment, but said that if you said one prayer in your life, if that prayer was a prayer of gratitude, it would be enough. And so I'll read the rest of what I wrote here. Authentic appreciation is a transformative force. While realization engages the imaginative qualities of the mind, gratitude engages the feeling nature of the heart. Gratitude is the most effective way to unleash the energy of positive realization. Now, in treatment, feeling is as important as imagination. Most of us don't know that we are actually in some way praying. We're speaking to the universe all the time. And those feelings that we have behind our thoughts is what charges, what causes what happens. So very often we have these things that happen in our lives that we're not so excited about, and you're dreading and you get in this fear mode. Well, guess what? That feeling is supercharging whatever it is that you're bringing to your imagination. So in gratitude, that's a way of bringing positive feeling to the things that are coming to your imagination. We claim our good embracing spirit, and giving thanks for what is without judgment. And how many people have had some lousy things happen in their lives? Okay, we all have. It's called being alive. It's called being human. The thing is to be able to have gratitude for all of it. Without judgment, regardless of what it looks like. I mean, how many times do those things that look so terrible in the moment turn around and end up being a great blessing? You don't know in that moment maybe, but if you can have an attitude of gratitude about it, it will surely turn around. And you may not find out tomorrow, you may not find out next week, it may take you years to find out why that thing happened. But always to have gratitude, regardless of what it appears like. And so we claim our good, embracing spirit, and giving thanks for what is without judgment. And in that way, we open ourselves to even greater good. The gratitude step is an affirmation of faith that life is unfolding in God's divine perfection.
Almost over. I looked it up in the dictionary. I thought that was going to give me an answer. Release is to give permission. To give permission to publicize it, to relinquish the right or claim, to give up in favor of another. I would argue with Cindy about the importance of the steps because I think that the release is very important. We sort of try to skip over that. But if we really believe in release, I could hold those notes, and those notes would help me. They would be a crutch. They would help me because I wrote them down. I know what's on there. Probably won't say what's on there now. The thing is, once we pray a prayer, if we don't want God to act, we can pull back and say, okay, God, that's not the way I planned it. I have some control over this. But if we toss away our preconceived human plans and allow God to work, we release it to God's hands, we have a chance of getting something more magnificent than we ever dreamed of in our own human ideas. When I was a kid, I used to love to build model cars, model boats, model planes. Once my daddy helped me build a model boat. And we just went and bought strips of balsa wood and started building. We built the boat. And I painted it red and white. The bottom was red, the sides were white. About 18 inches long. It was beautiful. Had a little gas-powered outboard motor, an 049, and then crank it up and it would take off. Well, we went out to Swan Lake. We had a place out there, and it was cold, but I couldn't wait till summer to do it, so we went out, and I cranked it up. I'd already tested it to be sure it would float and all that was good. And I set it so it would come in an arc and come back because we didn't have our boat out there. So it would come back and I could do it again and again. Well, I cranked it up, had a full tank of gas, turned it loose. It hit a wave and went straight out as far as it could go in the middle of the lake. I had no control over that. But what I'm trying to say is, if I'd have tied a tether or a string on that thing and made it come back, I wouldn't be telling this story today because it would have been insignificant. It's when we release things and allow the law of God to work on it when we get magnificent results instead of ordinary. So when you go through all four of these steps and get to the release step, that's the part where faith comes in. It's your faith now that you're allowing to work. So just release it. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you've prayed. Believe in the thoughts that you've had that brought you to this point, and say, okay, God, it's yours. And you can say, and so it is. So it is.
If you've heard this before, it's a wonderful refresher, wasn't it, this morning? If this is all new to you, it may not make enough sense for you, so sign up for class. Come back. Come to our conference on the 10th of August. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, if any prayer works, all prayer should work. And so if there's some prayers that haven't been working for you and you haven't yet learned how to do what we call spiritual mind treatment, and that's what was described to you this morning. Ernest Holmes called it spiritual mind treatment rather than prayer because prayer has so many negative connotations to it. That what we do is totally positive. And as it unfolds in our lives, we do get results and lives are transformed. So just of interest to you. And thank you all so much. We're going to move forward with our program, with our baptism ceremony. Who would like to take pictures for me? Would you take pictures? Thank you. Okay. We're going to do baptism, first of all, of Micah. And that's the one that was the request for today. But then because the family requested that, it seemed right that maybe there are kids within our congregation that have never been baptized that would like to be baptized as well. And so this morning, first of all, we will do the baptism that was invited and suggested. And then when that one is complete, we will invite all the other kids and their families to come forward to do the baptism of 6 other children. So yes, if Shawana and Sender and your family, anyone that you consider part of your support system in the raising of little Micah, would you all please come up front? Yes. Isn't that wonderful? Good. Wonderful. Yeah, you walked in for a while, but I want to hold it at the end when I baptize him. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We will do the words, and then Micah will be baptized with a rose, and the significance of using a rose will be explained as we get there. Okay? We're here today to welcome into this spiritual community a new child of God, and to affirm his place within his family of birth and among his Oak Brook family, and to join together in celebrating the lives of other of our children who will also be receiving the blessing of baptism today. We stand witnesses, each and all of us, to the glory of this day and the majesty of this occasion. I invite all of us to know the importance of our presence today and each succeeding day in the lives of this young one. Now, Shawana and Sender, we're here today to celebrate the Holy Spirit as your child and to consecrate his name as Micah Jaden Resnick. That's correct, right? We come together to remind you and to remember as a community our spiritual obligations on behalf of infinite spirit that lives in each of us and expresses so uniquely as us. The philosopher Gahil Gibran reminded us, your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you, for life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and bends you with might that the arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as the archer loves the arrow that flies, so the archer also loves the bow that is stable. Therefore, Shawana and Sender and other family members who are present here today Do you affirm your willingness to create an open and stable atmosphere for this child's development and growth? Do you agree to encourage the child's wisdom to emerge and to allow your spiritual understanding to inform you each and every decision on his behalf? Do you agree to allow Spirit's highest vision to reveal itself in Micah and allow your family and community to support this vision's revelation? Do you agree to establish love as your guiding principle in stewarding this child, teaching by example the value of spiritual living? And finally, do you agree to show up generously in whatever ways you are called upon to be of service in times of challenge or need? And now to our Oak Brook community. Beloved community, you have witnessed this covenant clearly affirmed between this loving family. Now do you as a community agree to uphold your responsibility in assisting this family in its charge? Are you willing to abide by the covenants of your agreement as members of Oak Brook Center for Spiritual Living and watching out for the well-being of this child and encouraging his spiritual, emotional, and physical health? Okay. In the ceremony of baptism, Micah is being baptized by water and the Holy Spirit. We use water not to symbolize a cleansing from original sin, because we are reminded today that we are born an original blessing. But we use water to symbolize our emotional nature and the subjective level of our being and being cleansed and purified from any beliefs in being less than whole, perfect, and complete. We use a white rose, symbolizing innocence, purity, and worthiness, and a bud not yet fully opened to represent the unfolding nature of God itself as it expresses through baby Micah in love and beauty. It is with great joy that I bless this child, Micah Jaden Resnick, recognizing his divine nature, allowing the atmosphere of love and the affirmation and assent present in this room to anchor love in the hearts of this beautiful child. Micah, we welcome you into the world, into our world, with a joyful expectation and deep thanksgiving. Hold him. He's just going to be an angel for us, isn't he? You pick the rose, Shawana. Which rose would you like for him? And just pull right out. Baby Micah, we love you, we bless you, we're grateful for you being a part of our community, and we know who you are, God in expression, whole, perfect, and complete. And so it is. So this is yours, and some of the baby breath and fern is yours to take home as well to make an arrangement. Okay? And now the community, let us welcome Micah into our community, shall we? Now you may stay up here or you may go back and be seated for the baptism of the other kids. It's up to you. Whatever you would like to do. And at this time, I do invite the other children and their parents and family support members to join us for the baptism of, I believe, 6 others. And if there are others here that did not talk to me and would like to be part of the ceremony, you're certainly welcome as well. So we have Insight and Robert, Stephanie and Abby and Alori and Emmanuel. Let's give them a hand before we even begin. Let's stand over here. Yes, let's stand over here. What a blessing. We're so happy that Abby's with us for this. Okay, so we have some questions for the parents and family support members. Do you affirm your willingness to create an open and stable atmosphere for your child's development and growth?
Yes.
Do you agree to encourage the child's wisdom to emerge and to allow your spiritual understanding to inform each and every decision on his or her behalf? Do you agree to allow Spirit's highest vision to reveal itself in them and allow your family and community to support this vision's revelation?
Yes.
Do you agree to establish love as your guiding principle in stewarding this child or these children, teaching by example the value of spiritual living? And finally, do you agree to show up generously in whatever ways you are called to be of service in times of challenge or need? And then to our Oak Brook community. Beloved Oak Brook community, you have witnessed this covenant clearly affirmed by these loving family members. Now, do you as a community agree to uphold your responsibility in assisting each family in its charge?
Yes.
Are you willing to abide by the covenants of your agreement as members of Oak Brook Center for Spiritual Living in watching out for the well-being of these children and encouraging their spiritual, emotional, and physical health? Okay. And again, we use water, not to symbolize a cleansing from original sin, but because we are reminded today that we are born an original blessing. And if you hadn't gotten that before, everybody, I invite you to embrace that concept. Each and every person is born an original blessing on planet Earth. And we use water to symbolize our emotional nature and the subjective level of our being, and being cleansed and purified from any belief in being less than whole, perfect, and complete. We use the white rose symbolizing innocence, purity, and worthiness, and a bud not yet open to represent the unfolding nature of God itself as it expresses through each one in love and beauty. And so it's going to be my great pleasure to bless each child, recognizing their divine nature, and as we celebrate their being in the world, in our world, with deep thanksgiving. So, who'd like to be first? And you get to pick out your own. We want to do Abby first? Okay. Yeah. Pull it straight out. Yeah. Straight out. Very good. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to put it in the water. And Abigail, I bless you, knowing who you are as a divine spiritual being, recognizing the gifts that you bring to planet Earth, and giving thanks for you. Want to pick out your own, Stephanie? You want that one? Okay. Oops. It's really good breath, but you can take that home. Okay, may I have it for a minute? Okay, could I get a little closer to Stephanie? Okay. Stephanie, I recognize who you are as a divine spiritual being and celebrate that you are with us. What a wonderful gift you are to Oak Brook and to all those who love you. And we welcome you and bless you and celebrate you. Inside, you'll be next. Pick out your rose. Yeah. I took them all out and put them all back so they come out easy. Inside. You want to look at the congregation? Yeah. Yes, I bless you. Giving thanks for who you are, knowing who you are as a divine spiritual being, and celebrating this moment and your being a part of our spiritual community. We know who you are, we give thanks for you, and we bless you today with our love. Okay. And Robert, pick out your rose. That's a good one too. Robert, I celebrate you this day. I bless you. I bless your whole life, inviting that which is the very highest and best to take place in every moment. We recognize you in this moment as who you are, a divine, spiritual being, celebrating life with us, as us, and joyfully bringing your gifts to our world. Thank you. All right, pick yours out. Take the front away. Okay. Lori celebrates you as a beautiful divine child of the Most High, recognizing who you are, knowing who you are, giving thanks that you are among us, and that the world is blessed because of your being with us. Amen. Oh, you need to pick him up. Yes, you got it already. Yeah, when we're done. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. All right, that's perfect. Yeah. Yes. Emmanuel, I bless you. I recognize who you are as a divine spiritual being. Heart to heart and joy in all that you do. I welcome you. I give thanks for you. I celebrate Emmanuel Davis among us. And so it is. Thank you. Let's welcome them all. Thank you. And there's a song that Joyful Noise is going to sing. You all may be seated. Yeah, you all may be seated. Joyful Noise is going to lead us in a song that we know very well, but delight in the new words.
Wait, I need your phone.
Oh, and I have baptism certificates for all, so be sure to see me for your baptism certificate. Take that with you.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, do you know how loved you are? You are precious, sweet as love, radiant, shining light. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, do you know how loved you are? You Twinkle, twinkle, little star, do you know how loved you are? You are precious, sweet and bright, a radiant beam of shining light. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, do you know how loved you are? You are loved. precious, sweet and bright, a radiant beam of shining light. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, do you know how loved you are?
And now it's time for celebrating our abundance. So as we take our gift in our hand and perhaps hold it to our heart, let's share our affirmation in unison together. How good it is to know that I am the place where the abundance of the universe flows. And as the abundance flows through me, it is with a grateful heart that I give. I know that as I give, so much more is given back to me. Gratefully and joyfully, I give of my time, my talents, my gifts, and my heart. And so it is. And those of you with prayer requests, please hold them up so that Ron can bring you the prayer chest.
Send it out, let it go, comes back to me in time. My joy is overflowing. I know God is my source. My money is like a bunny that goes forth and multiplies. Send it out and let it go. Comes back to me in time. My joy is overflowing. I know God is my source. My money, like a bunny, it goes forth and multiplies. Talking about that money, 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 money. They say you can't take it with you when you go. Gonna just enjoy myself, go with the flow.
We'll pray over that, shall we? Brian was working on food. Let's turn within, shall we? How wonderful it is to be in this flow of divine love. And then know that all else is included within that, including money. I give thanks for our gifts and tithes this morning. This center of love has materialized and is ongoing because it is a divine idea and because of the givingness of each one. I give thanks for our gifts, and I give thanks for the realization that as we give, we do receive. And as we give, it's multiplied and comes back and blesses our own lives. I give thanks for this. And I give thanks also for our prayer requests today. I give thanks for our practitioners and ministers who are teaching us to pray today. And that they are all available to us within the prayer requests as they about our rest and also individually as we And who has a July birthday? Come up front, we'll sing to you. Who has a July birthday? Let us sing to you. July birthday, July birthday, July July birthday, good. I know the cake is here. It's a case of getting the candles on the cake. And while we're doing the candles on the cake, the unveiling is taking place right now.
She doesn't know what things are.
Well, while we're waiting for the cake, I do invite you to stay this afternoon. If you've never come to Prosperity Club before, come today. I'm so excited with this idea that we can change our habits by understanding how habits are formed and